We are now less than an hour away from the NFL draft. This is where we get to watch the exact moment a young man's life changes forever. I mean, can you even imagine what they're feeling right now? You can see it's already getting pretty lively out there in Las Vegas. And the Cowboys, they got a lot of work to do. Joe Trahan is live at the Star in Frisco with a preview of round one. Joe, in the past few months, we've watched a lot of big names walk out that door.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Chris, and that is why this draft weekend is so vital for the success of the Cowboys. First thing you need to know about this year's draft, it should be wide open. I mean, there's several ways it can go because there aren't a bunch of big marquee names, and it's harder for teams to forecast how this draft will play out. And then the other thing, there are 8 teams that have multiple picks in the first round, so it could turn out to be really unconventional. As you mentioned, Chris, the draft emanating from Las Vegas, there's been a lot of talk about whether or not the Cowboys will gamble and move up in the draft. But they've been so conservative so far in the offseason, that would be a surprising move. I just don't see that happening. There are plenty holes to fill. The Cowboys' most pressing need, offensive line, but they could also use help at cornerback, wide receiver, and defensive line. Because they're picking so low in the first round at 24, they've prepared for plenty of scenarios when they get on the clock. Quality talent will be there. The Cowboys just have to make the right call.
You trust the process. We're going through the process of ranking the board horizontally and vertically, and from that, you have our view of our needs may be different than yours, but I think at the end of the day, I know from my perspective, the quality and the depth of the class is important to stack it against these first 2 classes. I just think the quality of the class and how they fit into our locker room is really the overall view from my perspective.
Yeah, that's a long way of saying they should be able to get a really good player at or around 24. Now, coming up later in sports, I have a couple of names that you need to know, plus the one thing that the Cowboys should absolutely avoid in this year's draft. We'll have that, plus Mavs Jazz Game 6 preview coming up later in sports. Back to you.